A warm welcome, a wonderful day, and welcome to another brand new video. Today, as you could of course already read in the title, we want to replace the radiator on a VW Passat 3C, engine code BMM, and 2-liter diesel engine, unit injector by the way. This is a 2006 model year diesel VW Passat 3C. And it is extremely important to note that there are two different types of radiators, so before you go ahead and order, make sure to measure exactly how big your radiator actually is. You can do that easily from below once the cover is off, then you can measure the length because there are two different ones. And yeah, the radiator, the purchase link is down in the video description. And as for what you really need to watch out for, it is super important with this engine that you bleed the system properly. Why is that? Well, the vehicle has an EGR cooler, and if there's no coolant in there, or if the coolant gets there too late, the exhaust gases will definitely get there much faster than the coolant, if it's extremely empty. And then the EGR coolers tend to burst. That is exactly why. It's not just about selling you the kit, but making sure you bleed it properly so that you don't end up with a new radiator, but then have coolant loss at the EGR cooler because it burst on you because it overheated at a certain spot. That's why it's very important to bleed it all properly, as you can bleed it with the kit using vacuum. What that means is that the entire cooling system is pressurized, or rather put under vacuum, all of the air comes out, and then it is completely filled up with coolant everywhere. We have also made a completely separate video about that. Just search through the channel for VW cooling system filling or bleeding. There's a separate video on that because we won't be showing it here. We're just going to put coolant in. Of course, I'll bleed it properly, but you won't see it in the video. Yeah, exactly. This is really simply about how to replace the whole thing. Of course, coolant will leak out in your case because ours actually burst at the bottom. We diagnosed that together in another separate video because we could also use that to pressurize the system to see where it's losing coolant. The purchase link is down in the video description. Like I said, make sure you have the right radiator. Otherwise, you'll have the radiator out and then you're stuck there and the part doesn't fit, which does happen from time to time. That is just a quick heads up for starters, and I would love to show you how you can replace the whole thing. Oh, and just one more thing. Of course, you will also need to get the correct coolant beforehand. And you can very easily do that right down in the video description. There's a link to an oil finder, which is what it's called. But you can also check right there to see exactly which coolant you need. You can just type in your key number, and then it will tell you which coolant is recommended for your engine. Yeah, I would say that it is time for us to get started.
So, here. Let's take this whole thing out of here. And I think that we can film some of this in fast forward. Because we're pulling the radiator out from the top. Go ahead and unscrew this unit here. There are two Torx screws, size T25 Torx. You can now go ahead and unscrew and remove either the entire air filter housing box or the air intake duct guide assembly completely. Right now, we are able to go ahead and pinch off the coolant hose. That really should actually work out. I'll take off the air filter box, even though I don't really have to, but so you can get a better look. I'm going to remove it in fast forward. And now we can actually make this all happen. And now you can see the clamp right here. Just lift it straight up. Nice and tight. Carefully take the clamp completely off. There should be a gasket here, which is included in the radiator set. Then we can tuck this away. And next up is the fan. The fan itself is actually screwed on right here with those 4 screws. These are all T30 Torx screws. Here and later from below, we can already loosen the top too. Here on the side, once I have the fan off, I'll show you the whole thing. With a small ratchet and a T30 Torx. We're now screwing the fan on. We won't be able to reach it here. The rest we have to do from below. Well, actually, we might reach it, but we'll do it from below now. I hope you'll be able to see enough. Just to make it easier, I'm going to take this guy off. So you guys might get a better view. Move it over to the side. And by the way, there is actually the exact same kind of clamp as the one on the coolant hose right up there. Yeah, it's probably best to start from the bottom so it doesn't keep dripping the whole time. Now you guys probably won't be able to see anything again. No, you won't. We can definitely unplug this connector because we're pulling the fan out from the top. And here's another T30 Torx screw. It could even happen, worry, that the fan drops down when you unscrew this last screw. Maybe we can pull it out from underneath. That would work too. We can also pull it out from the bottom. Secured from both sides. Actually, it is just from the one side. Once we unscrew the last screw on the other side, the fan will probably just come right out. And the last screw is hiding right here. Now we go back out through the bottom. That'll be tough. Come on, let's pull it out through the top. That'll be easier. No, going up won't be easier either because the AC line is there. We have to pull it out from underneath. Okay, and the radiator is also held by 4 screws. Fastened. With T30 Torx, you probably won't be able to see much right now. But you can see that on the new fan, on the new radiator. Question is, do we pull it out from the top or the bottom? I think that we can pull it out from the top. We are going to unscrew this very last screw, take off the coolant hose, and then pull it right up. So let's pinch off this coolant hose so that the coolant doesn't keep running down all day long. Although a lot of coolant is obviously going to run out of the radiator now, which I'm really not looking forward to. But we just can't avoid that. We're going to end up looking like a total mess. I bet you won't be able to see anything again. Okay, clip off. That's so many clips, and now burn the whole thing out and catch it as best as possible. I've disconnected the hose in a different place now. And now we are going to go ahead and unscrew the remaining 2 screws. And here is the last one. Some kind of goop needs to run out of there. There. And now we will take it out, probably letting it drain a bit first. Of course, if we don't take the flange off, then the new radiator's in. And then we can screw the whole thing down. So actually we can screw the radiator down completely from above. Yeah, once we have all that tight, we can actually attach the fan and then tighten everything from below, right? We'll finish up the rest from below now. We'll film a bit of it as we go. You've seen it all, where everything was, where everything is. Tight. That is really tight. Now we'll put the hose with the flange back on. We have got everything fully tightened back up underneath there. Then we can move on over here as well. Put the clip on now. Put the entire thing on.
So yeah, guys, as I already said at the beginning, then go ahead and fill up the coolant. Bleed the entire system properly, or rather fill it, and of course check it for leaks. And yeah, that's what the whole thing can look like when you want to change it. And all the important purchase links are down in the video description. If you liked the video and found it helpful, of course, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, it's still free. And I would say that I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.